This is the plaintiff, Eric Hubble. He says he hired the defendant to install a new fuel tank in his truck, and the guy did such a bad job he caused an electrical problem. And he's lucky the thing didn't start on fire, or worse, blow up. He's suing for the return of his $789.71, the amount he paid the defendant. This is the defendant, Bill Ezepchak. He says he did the installation of the tank properly. And if there were any problems, he told him to bring it back to him, and he'd fix it. The plaintiff brought it to another guy who did who knows what to it, and he owes nothing. He's accused of gaslighting a customer.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says that he's lucky his truck didn't burst into flames because the inept guy did a terrible job repairing his fuel tank. But the defendant says he did everything by the book, and he owes nothing. It's the case of gaslighting a customer.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Hubble, you're suing Fairfield Auto and Truck Care, represented here by the service manager, Bill, for the money that you paid them to install a fuel tank, because according to you, they messed it up. Tell me what happened here.
Yes, ma'am. I made arrangements to drop the fuel tank off in the truck. So I dropped it off on a Wednesday, expecting to get it back later that day. I didn't get it back until about 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock the next day on a Thursday. I attempted to fuel up on my way, and the fill hose had been kinked. I brought it back, and they fixed that issue that they caused to begin with. Several weeks, it may have been a month or two later, I started having electrical issues. The lights were coming on, my locks weren't working correctly, didn't know what was going on with it. I brought it to a local auto repair shop, and he had to troubleshoot it, go through and figure out what was wrong. The vent was not installed correctly on the tank. So there were two things not installed correctly on the tank. And so he was able to go through and fix that issue. And so the electrical issue was then resolved. So that cost me
how
money
much did it cost you to solve the electrical issue?
That was $189 and change.
So why are you suing for $789.71 if the car's running perfectly and there's no other problem?
The installation should have only taken between 4 and 5 hours if done by a professional. Clearly, a professional did not install the tank, and I have that letter to verify from a mechanic.
Yeah, but, okay, when you come to court, the point of court is to make you whole, not to put you ahead of the game and ching-ching, let the cash register ring. Somebody did something wrong, and you're entitled to get that wrong thing fixed. And what it costs you to get the wrong thing fixed, if you're able to prove that, because we haven't gotten to that part yet, is $189. But let me hear from Mr. Ezepchak. Tell me what's going on, because there clearly was an original problem with a hose kink. What was that about?
Yes. First of all, the tank is an aftermarket custom-made tank. The first problem he ran into, we told him to go, which clearly stated in our invoice, go fill up the tank as soon as you pick it up, make sure there's no leaks or problems. He called us a few days later saying the tank was kept clicking off, which we took care of, no charge. And the light on his dash, I'm assuming, is a check engine light and VSC light. Nothing electrical other than a check engine light for something most likely wrong in the EVAP system. I don't know, because I never saw any report or anything from this other garage.
Well, let's see that. I have a letter, and it's typewriting on a piece of paper and then scribble on the bottom. You don't have anything from the auto repair shop on their letterhead and in a legitimate kind of...
I do not have anything from the auto repair shop, not on their letterhead, no, because I didn't want
My name
is
James, and I am the professional mechanic that fixed the issues with an improperly installed fuel tank. I was able to identify the reason for electrical problems. The vent on the new gas tank was not properly installed by the previous repair shop. The claim by the previous shop that he should have brought it back there is ridiculous, especially given the inept installation of the fuel tank that caused his vehicle to be unavailable for an excessive amount of time. In total, the installation should have taken a professional 4 to 5 hours at most. How does a mechanic know all this stuff? I mean, you clearly wrote this.
I absolutely did. And I had the mechanic look it over and verify that all of it was correct and accurate. Otherwise, he wouldn't have signed his name to it. Now, to say
I know,
that
but you understand this is not an affidavit. There's no proof anybody named James works there. You don't have anything from the actual repair shop, and it's your entire case to link the electrical problem with their job on the tank. How about if we contact that shop, which is called the Quiet Zone, which is a legitimate shop? Yeah.
If you can, find out what the electrical problem was. It was most likely.
Well, that's the whole point of contacting them.
A fault code with the EVAP system.
You know what? You're going to be listening while this happens. We're going to do this right on the air right now. So if there's a question you want me to ask, I will.
This is Jim speaking. How may I help you?
This is Judge Marilyn Milian from the People's Court. We have a case in front of us from someone who is ostensibly a customer of yours, Mr. Eric Hubble.
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Gilbert, would you, it's kind of funky, but could you raise your right hand?
Yeah.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. All right, talk to me. Tell me what happened with this car.
Okay, so when Eric Hubble came in, he brought the truck to me with the check engine light on, and we do a diagnostic. When I did so, I found a leak on the hose that goes from the gas tank to the vent valve. The clamps weren't tight, and the hose was just routed really wrong. It was actually kinked shut. So that was the issue with the check engine light.
Okay, so it's $189?
Yes.
Okay, I have Mr. Ezepchik, who is the folks who put in the tank. So was there a question you wanted me to ask him, Mr. Ezepchik, or are we done?
Well, there was no, so to speak, electrical problem. It was a loose hose clamp on the vent hose. Granted, though.
I know, but who's that on? Why is it that you shouldn't pay the guy the $189 that he had to spend at another place?
Well, we should have the right first to fix it.
Okay, awesome. Jim, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, bye-bye. No, you don't, and I'm going to tell you why. Because when you get a check engine light, your first thought isn't, oh, those guys who did my gas tank ought to bring it back to them. No, your idea is I'm going to take it to somebody who can diagnose a check engine light. That is normal. What is not normal is for you to sue for $789.71. What you're out is the $189. I agree with you. They should cover it. And I am ordering the defendant to reimburse the plaintiff the $189, which will then make you whole, which is the purpose of court. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Mr. Ezepchik, what do you think about that? Were you surprised that she called that other repair shop?
No, not at all. That was the proper thing to do for sure. And if Eric had come in with the bill to me, we would have made some type of arrangement. That would have been no problem whatsoever. We're upfront and honest business guys, and mistakes can happen.
Okay. All right. Well, good enough. Let's see what Mr. Hubble's thinking. Mr. Hubble, it's interesting. You wanted $789, which is the judge thought was outrageous. In any event, you're going to get $189. What about that? How do you feel?
189 is better than nothing. I don't believe I've been made whole given the time and energy that I had to spend to go back and forth to have the various issues fixed. The fill hose is kinked. To say that wasn't done, or I called days later, I called within an hour. So he's got his version and I have the truth.
All right. Well, congratulations, and that'll bring the case to a close. Let's see what the judges think now.
If I could just collect aggravation damages and waste of time damages against all the customer service people that I'm on the phone with.
Oh my gosh, the 45-minute holds and then they hang up and you got to start the whole process over again. And,
oh my God. And unfortunately, that's not normally compensable, and certainly wasn't in this case. You weren't going to give him the whole $800 or $789.
Just because he was bothered.
Yeah, you get a free custom fuel tank. Right. No.
Actually, he should be very grateful that I made the phone call, because the truth of the matter is you come in with a typewritten piece of paper and scribble on the bottom that you clearly authored. You could have done that in the hallway. That's not going to fly in court.
Yeah, he would have been out of gas.
Right.
Alette wants to know this. Hey, Harvey. I've heard the U.S. is the only country to have small claims court systems like ours. Is that true? Gotta say, I don't know, but it would be improbable to me that somebody in another country couldn't go in and defend themselves or represent themselves, especially in minor cases. I doubt that lawyers are mandatory in every country in the world.